I really want to give another look at the 51.4 by Nikon and also 35 1.4. This is being shot on the Z60 and the 35 1.4. So you can see at 1.4. So you can see the look, you can see the kind of shallow depth of field, the effect that it gives you, the look it gives you. There is this beautiful combination of a nice, decent sharpness at the same time, a touch of that organic softness, which I really like about these two lenses. Now let me tell you one thing. Recently I thought I'll pick up this 50-1.4 and 35-1.4, both of these, and shoot them for a few days, and I've been doing that. I especially shot both of these lenses a lot with the Z52 because I prefer using full frame lenses even on my crop sensor Nikon bodies. Now when I was using the 50-1.4 and 35-1.4, I realized that both of these lenses, actually, I think the lens to look at these lenses have been wrong. A lot of people have appreciated these two lenses for what they give you for the money, what they give you for the size. So they looked at it as value and ease of use points of view. But then I thought, let's look at it optically, okay? And optically, I have done my reviews and I've said that optically these are not perfect lenses, but these are very good lenses. Let me expand on that a little bit more. Now, I'm quite intentional right now about the location I am right now, because I want to give you a sample of how the 35 1.4 renders at 1.4. I can show you there's a lot of busy background behind me, and you can see how beautifully this lens renders the look. When we looked at these two lenses, we use the S-line perspective to evaluate these lenses, which is sharpness, amount of chromatic aberration or no chromatic aberration, all the optical parameters. But I think the way we should look at these two lenses are experiential. In terms of experience, how are they? And I'm not talking about these being light. Experientially, these lenses provide you a kind of look that you actually don't get from the 1.8S lenses, because the 1.8S lenses are corrected optically so that they give you a very sanitized, clean look. These lenses are slightly careless about optical perfection, but Nikon have carefully curated the look of the lens. I feel that the bokeh in both of these lenses are not trying to be smooth. They're great. They're not trying to be buttery smooth. They're adding a wee bit of, busyness, the character being busy to the look of these two lenses. But I never look at them and say it's ugly. I look at them and say it's recognizably different. And that's, I think, of tremendous value. At a time when you have AI coming in, all the lenses can start looking similar. I think it's great that Nikon is giving you a lens that's sort of consciously different, consciously made for a certain kind of look that you can potentially recognize. I think these two lenses are going to be especially cool for filmmakers and videographers if they want a certain kind of texture, if they want to convey a certain kind of mood. I think we are not always trying to render the background just smoothly. At times, I think maybe we want to embrace the nervousness of it, that slightly different looking bokeh to convey what we feel. I think there is value in that as well. Now I have shifted to the 50. You're seeing the 51.4 right now on the Z6 III. I've shifted 35 1.4 here on my Z8. These two lenses are sharp enough, meaning you'll get all the details that you need. But the contrast treatment given to these lenses are different, meaning the way it renders contrast, it is softer, it is not as contrasty, but it still retains a punch without being very, very contrasty. Look, I'm trying to find my words as I speak. I haven't scripted this because I'm to really express myself spontaneously when I talk about these two lenses. The recognizable characteristics of these two lenses are that there is a brushed, smoothened finish to the look of these lenses, and it is not absolutely sharp. What you notice is not about, oh, how sharp these lenses are, how sharp these images are. What you notice is how pictorial the output is, meaning there is the way Nikon has added softness. By the way, let me tell you, that is not lack of detail. It is softness added tastefully so that pictures look like images, they look like pictures. I would even go on to say that if you want to, these lenses give you a base file which you want to now edit to make these files look like almost painterly. You can do that with the output of these two lenses. I think that is a remarkably different thing that Nikon have been able to do in their brand new modern 2025 Z system. This is something that you completely miss in other systems. It's very difficult to get a lens from like a first party manufacturer that renders output in such a way that you feel like uh, taking those images that you feel like taking those images look like paintings in your edit. And that happens interestingly with these two lenses, and which is why I'm absolutely delighted to tell you that these are, I think, true blue modern character lenses. If you were to imagine today a modern lens which will give you the benefit of being a modern lens, but at the same time give you that slight difference in your creative voice, you would want lenses like these. So therefore I'm looking forward to a 28 1.4. I said in my last video that I think Nikon should launch a 28 millimeters lens. So I look forward to a 28 1.4 which renders like this, a storytelling lens, a lens that creates painterly images. I would look for an 85mm 1.4. Let me tell you, I would still look for an 85mm 1.4 that looks significantly different from the 85mm 1.4 and 1.8G from the F mount. I'm looking for this kind of formula. I'm looking for a look that's characteristically Nikon Z mount, but at the same time, I don't know. I don't know what you call this style. So why don't you guys actually try and give it a name? I don't know if Nikon wants to give it a name, what name would they have given it? They have named the 58 0.95 Noct. They have named the 135 1.8 Plena. If they were to name this series, what do you think should the name be? I'm very curious to know. In fact, I'll try a few names. I'll probably write it in the comment section. Why don't you come up with your name? That could be a very interesting game to play. And I really like Nikon's style of naming lenses, the lenses that they think are special. So I do think these 1.4 lenses are special. I know on the internet a lot of people say these lenses are not as good because they're looking at it very straightforward. They're looking at it very unidimensionally. And I think lenses are complex, and I think we should embrace the complexity that has gone into making these lenses. I think these lenses are beautiful and they make you different, they make you distinct, they give you a different look and voice, which is why I would say that's where the naming should also sort of connote that. What do you think these series of lenses be called? Let me know. Subscribe to our channel. I really need your help to reach 8,000 quickly, 8,000 subscribers quickly. So like this video, subscribe to the channel. I'm going to see you soon with another one.